Hello, kindergarten scholars. How are you all doing today? Awesome. Welcome back to Forces in Motion with me, Miss Crawford. It's been a little bit. And I wanted to talk to you today about something very interesting. We're going to talk about collisions. Can you say that word? Collisions? Collisions happen when two objects collide. That's when something crashes into each other. You can think about like car crashes, or if you have ever been running on a playground and ran into a friend, you guys smashed into each other, you collided. Now we're gonna do some investigating with some of these awesome toys here. I have some tops, I have some Lego trucks or cars, I have some bowling balls and pins, and I have my very favorite, check them out, bouncy balls. Look at all these bouncy balls. And we're gonna talk about what happens when things collide. Check it out. Now today, my friends, I am gonna investigate, and you're gonna help me investigate with these toys to see what happens when we create collisions. And what do you think is going to happen when we make these toys collide? A couple of things might happen. Come on, let's find out. All right, my friends. The first thing we're going to take a look at are these two Lego trucks or cars. Now, what do you think will happen when these two toys crash into one another? Do you think they will stop? Do you think they will wreck and break? Do you think one will push the other? Make a prediction, or remember that big word we used before, hypothesis? Make a hypothesis. What do you think will happen when these two cars collide and crash into one another? All right, are you ready? I need help with the countdown. I'm gonna push them together to see what happens. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 0. What happened? Yeah. So when these cars crashed into one another, this one hit this one, and it spun away. And what did this one do? It stopped. So this one pushed this one away. This one stopped. All right, let's check something else out. Come on. All right, my friends, we've moved to another location in the classroom. I wanted a flat surface, my wall right here, or my closet door right here, to help us with this part of the experiment. This time, we're gonna see what happens when bouncy balls collide with the door, when they crash into the door. So what do you think will happen when these bouncy balls crash into the door? Make your hypothesis, say it out loud. I think when the bouncy ball collides with the door, great hypothesis. All right, now let's see if you're right. I'm gonna scooch back. I'm gonna try and bounce these balls and crash them into the walls. Let's see what happens. All right. Now they just have to crash. That means they collide, they hit one another. So the wall's staying still. I'm gonna throw the ball. Ready? It's this purple and greenish, yellowish, and blue color. Ready? What happened? Let's try a gold one. Woo. Let's try a rainbow dot one. What's happening as the balls crash into the door? Let's try multiple balls at one time. Let's see what happens when they collide. Ah! My friends, what happened to the bouncy balls as they crashed into or collided with this door? Yeah, they bounced back. They kept moving. They're still moving all around my classroom. So sometimes things stop, sometimes things get pushed, Sometimes things keep bouncing and bounce back at you when they collide. Now let's see what else can happen when things collide. Come on, I have another one to show you. All right, you guys, this one is going to be a bowling collision. What happens when this ball collides with these pins? They look like dinosaur pins. What do you think will happen? Make your hypothesis. I think when the ball collides with the dinosaur pins, they will... Ooh, that's a good one. Now let's test your hypothesis. Let's see if you are right. I'm gonna get out of the camera and let's see if we can make your hypothesis come true. Come on. All right, can you guys count down for me? I'm gonna roll my pin. 3, 2, 1, 0. What happened? Yeah, they got knocked over. They didn't keep on going. They didn't push back against the ball. They got knocked over. Why do you think they just got knocked over instead of bouncing all around the room like the bouncy balls? Or why do you think they got knocked over and the ball kind of kept moving? The ball moved over here after it knocked into the pins. There's so many different things that can happen when objects collide. There's so many different factors that go into what happens after a collision. Think about how heavy something is, right? The heavier something is, the harder it is to pull it or push it. So when something's heavier, maybe it's harder to knock down. Maybe these were really light. Maybe that's why they were easy to knock down. But maybe that car that kept staying still was heavy. And so it pushed the other car out of the way and it just stopped because it was stronger. Usually, my friends, the stronger something is, the more it will stay put, the harder it is to move it. So even in a collision, like with the door, it stayed put. Even in a collision, it'll stay put. The balls did nothing to that door when we tried to make them collide. Now I have one more collision to show you. It's my tops. Maybe you've played with Beyblades before. What do you think will happen if two of my tops collide and smash into one another? This is our last experiment. Let's take a look. Come on, guys. All right, my friends. This is our last collision experiment. You already made your hypothesis of what you think will happen when these tops collide. Now, let's see if your hypothesis is correct. Ready? I'm gonna start this one first. See what happens when I start this one. Did you see that? What happened when they bumped into each other? Yeah, they both stopped. Why do you think they both stopped? Yeah, maybe it's because they're the same. They're the same size, they're the same toy. So they both stopped. They didn't really they bounced off of each other, but then they just kind of fell over. All right, my friends, stay tuned to hear what your seesaw activity is to figure out what happens during collisions. Come on. Okay, my friends, so here's what I need you to do for your seesaw activity. I want you to find two toys, any two toys. Maybe you have balls like I had, like those bouncy balls, or maybe you do have Beyblades, or maybe you have cars that can crash into each other. It doesn't matter what toys. I just want you to find two toys, and I want you to make them collide with each other, crash into one another. And then I just want to hear you explain what happened. Did those two objects stop? Did one of the objects keep going? Did one of the objects push the other object out of the way? And why? Why do you think that happened? Was maybe one object stronger than the other? Or maybe they both the same, like those tops? My friends, I cannot wait to see your experiments. It's one of my favorite parts about checking your Seesaw activities. And I bet it's your teacher's favorite part too. All right, my friends, I will see you in our next Forces in Motion video. And until then, my friends, I want you to keep on experimenting. I'll see you later, guys.